Hello everyone, this is Hakaym and welcome, to something actually rather bit different. I am actually showing off World of Warplanes actually. And now for everyone who obviously is well aware of Wargaming's exploits, there is World of Tanks, World of Warships, and then there is this, World of Warships, Warplanes. I really gotta get in my head Warplanes. Really makes it a little bit difficult. But anyways, for everyone that does not know, when this game was released, it was apparently quite bad. Now, I've never actually got to play it. I actually never attempted to play it because I've heard really negative feedback on this game. So I really just never took it into my head that I should try this game. Now, obviously, Wargaming has actually stepped up their game, and they actually released World of Warplanes 2.0, and it's fun. It is really super fun. I've enjoyed it. Just my few battles I've had. As you can see, I'm actually working up the Japanese fighter line. I think I'm currently going towards the... Let's see, as you can see, there are a lot of airplanes in this game. I'm working up to the A7M. But as you can see, the game itself, at least the hangar, is really nice looking. There is a lot of stuff on the screen, as you can see. But if you play World of Warships, you should be somewhat familiar with how things work. You have your service, which allows you to put on consumables. Then you have your upgrades, which allow you to upgrade your ship as well as add additional equipment to it, different modifications. Then you do have your additional camo. This is more artistically showing off. Generally will cost you either silver or gold, but it really is just up to you. I usually just doesn't really matter to me. Not planning on changing it that drastically, but it is there if you do want it. And then obviously you do have your pilot, which you can actually upgrade on the skills. So very similar to World of Warships in a lot of ways. Now there are, as I did point out, several different nations. You have the United States, you have Russia, you have Germany, you have Japan, and you have Britain or the UK. Now there are premiums, China, and there is a premium France. But whenever you look at, especially if we take a look at the United States, there's different types of fighters. There are regular fighters, heavy fighters, there's multi-role fighters, and there are even bombers, which are very unique, and they all have different roles. And this is kind of, once again, very similar to how World of Warships is, and even World of Tanks, where you have different aspects. And what really is nice, and I really wish World of Warships would do this, is whenever you are playing in the game, there are actually bonuses, or better yet, specific tasks that are required of different types of aircrafts to do, and if you do them, you get bonuses. And this is really beneficial for people who actually take the time and do what their plane is designed for. If they follow those stats, they get bonuses, and it really helps them out. So I really wish World of Warships would do that. Just something that kind of help players into understanding what they're supposed to be doing instead of just doing whatever they want. But overall, the game's actually really super fun. It's very arcade, so if you are big into real life simulation, not a game for you. It's still fun all the same. Unfortunately, I am not gonna have a replay, so instead I'm actually gonna be recording this live, and hopefully you guys will understand why I'm like this. Now keep in mind, and this is kind of really easy to grind, at least these lower tiers, very quick to go through. I've only had not even 5 or 10 battles in them, and I've got up through 1, 2, and 3, and that is including upgrading everything. Currently working on the tier 3, but very quickly and easily to grind up. You get a lot of experience, especially if you follow your tasks and your roles that your ship is designed for. So overall, not too bad. Really have enjoyed, but we will show a battle and we'll see how it goes. Alright, so we are in a battle. I'm in the tier 4 Japanese plane, and unfortunately I didn't get the very beginning of this, but it's still very fun. Our team has captured a control point, and now we are pushing towards the center control point. And for the most part, I do have to say, there are times that I don't understand what, or better yet, how you gain these control points. Now, I do understand you have to take out the defensive aircrafts that are actually currently around, and that does help, but I believe you also have to take out the areas down below. As you can see, some of those stuff are being destroyed, and we have captured the middle. Now, this Japanese aircraft, it does have a machine gun, but it also has these autocannons, and these autocannons are very powerful. Once, I believe, fully upgraded, they do an average of 65 points of damage. Now, the only downside is the fact that, as we are being shot at, sometimes it's actually very difficult to get away. And unfortunately for me, I don't actually have a way to repair my wings, so I am probably going to go down. But as you can see on the bottom left, our weapons have overheated. That autocannon, though powerful, it does overheat, and unfortunately we have gone down to the enemy aircraft that does have a rear. Now, there are different types of airplanes. There are obviously fighter crafts, there are heavy fighters, and there are also multi-role / bombers in this game. And the bombers and the multi-role, they do have actual bombs on them, and that does allow them to take out enemy facilities, and I believe that also helps you take control of certain sectors. Now, I don't know quite what's happening if you look on the minimap. There's this red dot that is moving towards the command center that we have on the left-hand side of the screen right now. I don't exactly know what they're doing, but I'm going to try to come over here because my job as a fighter is to take on enemy planes, and that is the whole thing I'm going for. I'm going after enemy aircrafts. Now, the Japanese planes, they are somewhat fragile. They are good in a lot of ways, but they're fragile. So I haven't played up on the other nations yet, and that does kind of limit my full experience. So this is just, at least from what I've kind of put a little bit of time in. Here we're gonna try to take this kill. One thing I will have to say, increase your mouse sensitivity, because if you don't, it's very difficult to get your mouse turned, especially if you are dogfighting and does require quick turning. And overall, I have to say the Japanese fighters turn pretty well. They are able to zip around, but you can see that we're winning. At the top left, we have all 3 bases. We are well ahead in points, and here you can actually zoom in. It does provide a little bit better accuracy, so you're able to fire more. And there is, I believe it's a multi-role. You can see he's actually firing his rear gunner at us, which once again, I haven't gone through all these different airplanes, and at least it does give you a warning. There was an enemy on our tail, so we're actually gonna turn around. Unfortunately, we get hit right by a friendly plane, but we are gonna win this. There we go, victory. So not too bad. We have one more battle I want to show you. All right, so we have another battle, and this one I thought we were doing really well in, and well, as you will see, it didn't go so well. We are top of the tier, at least. That is actually kind of nice. So we are definitely ahead. Now, I believe in this battle I actually got the upgraded autocannons. I haven't fully upgraded the Japanese plane yet, so we'll see how she goes. And once again, there's just my knowledge on what we're really, or better yet, I think on as far as what everyone's concerned is everyone is somewhat unaware what they're supposed to be doing. Sometimes you get these great teams and you'll have victories, but for the most part, I think my WTR is about 50%. It just really depends on who I have on the team and then whether or not they actually push the objectives. You can see that that is a heavy defense aircraft, and we actually get it knocked down. There is another one, so we're gonna try help our friendly that is being chased down, and there we go. We earn subjugators. Once again, if you follow your plane's role, you will do really well. And you can see we are just now capturing the base, and I think that's just due to the fact that, from what I can kind of gather, is the fact that you have to take out the buildings in the area to actually take full control of it. So that's something to keep in mind. Now the enemy team is actually starting to push into the forward airbase, and we're going to try to take on some of these planes. There is actually quite a few of them, so we do have to be a little bit careful. This is going to be very, very tight. This map here, there's just very limited areas to actually capture, so you do have to be well aware that you can easily get outnumbered, and that's one thing you don't want to do, is get outnumbered and focused on. Now, I'm trying to be careful just in case someone tries to come after me. As you can see, we have got hit a few times, and now we're going to do a dogfighting with a plane, trying to help our friendly here. Take him out as quickly as possible. Now, one thing to keep in mind, if the battle is actually very, very close, there's actually no real winner or loser at the moment. There is a certain point in the battle where the squall line comes in, and that pretty much represents that you can no longer respawn. For the most part, you can respawn as often as you need to. The only limiting factor is every time you respawn, it takes longer and longer. And here we actually have a dogfighting with a, let's see what this is. I honestly can't tell. We're moving around way too quickly. Looks like a Hawk 25M, and there we go. Took him out. And at the moment, it looks like we're doing really well. It looks like we've lost a few of our planes, but the enemy team is now currently attacking our captured area. So that is definitely not good. And this is one thing you do have to keep in mind. Going straight up, yeah, stalling. I know. I'm aware of the fact that you can stall, but it is difficult to try to gain altitude. This is generally what you want to try to go for, is altitude. Having altitude over your enemies really does provide you beneficial attacking power. But these autocannons, you can just see how quickly we can actually go through that plane, even though we were being assisted by a friendly. But the enemy team is now starting to capture our own base, and it looks like there are some of the multi-role bombers that are currently attacking. It looks like that is a FW-57. Trying our best, trying to take him out. Now, unfortunately, our autocannons are overheated, so unfortunately we don't get the full extent of the damage. Took a little bit longer than we really needed to, but yeah, for the most part, like in this battle, I am thinking that we're actually gonna win this. Yeah, things aren't gonna look so hot for us in a little while. Now, we have taken some damage, and just trying to gain altitude is difficult. You do have ability to boost, usually lasts about 5 seconds. But as you can see, we're gaining altitude. We are now about to stall. We lost a lot of speed in that. That would have meant we would have been very easy to actually hit. So that is extremely dangerous, just trying to get altitude, but I don't think we're having the best of luck. Yeah, things aren't going to look so good for us. We do have a BSH-1. And I mean, we're doing pretty good amount of damage, but you can see he has almost 400 points of health. Plus he has a rear gunner, so he can fire while he's having someone on his tail. Trying to get around, trying to get a good line shot on him. And there we go. Took out the BSH-1. Very, very nice. But the enemy team have captured this base, and you can see we are not currently capturing. And this is kind of where I'm not understanding why we're not able to capture it. Maybe someone will point it down in the comments. But overall, I have to say this game's fun. It is fun. It's very fast-paced, very quick to go through. You can actually climb up through the tiers very, very quickly. As long as you do your objective, you can climb up to at least tier 5 in maybe an hour if you really push yourself. So overall, it's not a bad game. I do and have enjoyed playing it. I just, unfortunately, there's not always enough time in the day. But for the most part, from what I've played, it's been fun. Definitely will have to say, one thing I probably have a little bit of time trying to get accustomed to it is the fact of, well, essentially, attacking. You can be attacked from anywhere. You can see there we actually were underneath this LBSH, this fighter here. Surprised him, took a lot of damage in that, and unfortunately the enemy team is going to probably take control. As I pointed out, there is a squall line coming, and we are not in a good position. So things are not looking very good for us. Unfortunately, we're just not going to be able to do anything. But what I would say, probably a good meta, is if you're low on health like I am, I'm about less than half health. I would almost say kill yourself before that squall line comes in, just so you have full health when it comes in, because once that squall line is there and you die permanently, and then it is essentially last plane alive, and yeah, we're gonna go down. Just look at all the planes around us. So as far as what I've experienced with World of Warplanes, not a bad game. I've enjoyed it. It is fun. It's apparently a lot better than what it used to be, but we'll see how things go. I will probably continue playing it. But this is going to be it for this episode of Funday Sunday. Thank you guys so much for joining in. Hopefully, seeing World of Warplanes might make you interested. If you are, do check it out. It is fun. So, if you like what you saw, hit the like and subscribe button. You guys have a great and fantastic day. Zaijian.